What up, y'all? I want to welcome y'all back to the Trifecta Podcast. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. All right, we're going to be going strong throughout the whole playoff series, man. Turn our notification button on. All right, I'm going to give y'all content all throughout the playoffs, man. It's been really exciting so far. All right, go to your favorite podcaster, your favorite channel for the latest updates, recaps, and previews. All right, so now getting into the Minnesota versus Denver Nuggets series, man. I'm going to talk about the Minnesota side, their advantages and disadvantages in this series. So the season series was 2-2 in the regular season. If you guys remember, they played last year in the playoffs in the first round. Denver won that in 5, but there was no Jaden McDaniels. There was no Naz Reid, all right? So two big X factors for the Minnesota Timberwolves were not there, all right? And in the regular season, Cat only played in 1 game out of the 4 games in the season series. Can't really tell much from the regular season because Minnesota was missing their second-best player, second-best scorer, and Karl Anthony Towns, man. In the season series, Minnesota had a 116 offensive rating and a 110.5 defensive rating versus the Denver Nuggets, all right? So really good on defense, as they were the whole entire season, and pretty good on offense, all right? That's a 5.8 net rating, all right? That's in the positives. For the Denver Nuggets, that's a minus net rating, minus 5.8. And that's really odd for the Denver Nuggets because they only have a minus net rating versus 4 teams in the NBA. So it's clear Minnesota does match up with them well and give them some problems for sure. Their ability to make Denver uncomfortable with their backline, all right, with Rudy Gobert being the help side, Karl Anthony Towns being big enough to defend Jokic, not necessarily stop him, but at least hold up well enough to give Rudy Gobert time to contest a shot on the backline and help side, all right? Also, Minnesota's ability to play straight up, all right? Like I said, they have great defenders. Jaden McDaniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker did a really good job on Jamal Murray last year, all right? Jamal Murray shot sub 35% versus Nickeil Alexander-Walker in last year's matchup. But Jamal Murray did average 27 points per game. Why was that? Denver does a lot of two-man game with Murray and Jokic. So I do expect Murray to struggle. I do expect Jokic to do his thing because that's just Nikola Jokic, best player in the NBA. But I do think they're going to be able to make Jokic uncomfortable, all right, make him speed up a little bit, play a little faster, make him a little less decisive, all right, because now you have Gobert in the backline. He's guarding Aaron Gordon in a dunker spot, all right? So now if you want to do a lob to Aaron Gordon, you got to do that over a 7-3 dude. Interesting stat for the Minnesota Timberwolves versus Denver Nuggets is Minnesota is top 2, all right, in points allowed in the paint, all right? So they're not giving up a lot of points in the paint. They're top 2 in the league in points allowed. Denver is top 5 in points in the paint. All right, so a really good, interesting stat there. We kind of got to see that seesaw effect of how that will go throughout the series. Will Minnesota be able to stop these guys from getting into the paint, or will Denver be able to kind of get whatever they want in the paint? Because when they do that, they're a hard team to beat, man, really a hard team to beat. Rebounding as well, all right? They're 2 very good rebounding teams. The Nuggets are a great offensive rebounding team. Minnesota's a great offensive rebounding team. All right, so can they control the glass? Can they not allow second and third chance possessions for the Denver Nuggets? Because you can't do that. They shoot too good. They got 2 good scorers. They shoot too well. They got scorers that are really good, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, etc., man. So you can't give these guys second and third possessions. So they must rebound. They must win that battle as well. Minnesota has a significantly better bench than Denver. Naz Reid, 6th man of the year. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, good defender. Kyle Anderson, smart, heady player, compared to Denver's bench with Christian Brown, with Peyton Watson, who just aren't there offensively yet. They're more so energy guys. So I do expect Minnesota's bench to outplay Denver's bench, man, and give these guys some breathing room. Give Rudy Gobert a breather, give Cat a breather, and be able to bring guys, wave and waves of guys in that could do a similar job to what the starters are doing. So I do expect that to be an advantage for Minnesota. On the Denver side, man, they don't have that advantage. They don't have that luxury. So I expect Jokic to have to play a lot of minutes. That can definitely wear him down during the series. That can definitely wear Murray down during the series. Because now you don't have a reasonable facsimile of those 2 star players, all right? And when you don't have that, that puts more pressure on those guys to be the best version of themselves, all right? With Murray's injury, that just kind of hard for me to bank on in this series. All right, so offensively for the Minnesota Timberwolves, man, Anthony Edwards, all right, he's the story of the Timberwolves, man. He's been going crazy this whole playoff, all right, looking to be first, second, third team All-NBA. I expect him to be on that list. All right, versus the Denver Nuggets this year, he's averaging 26 a game. He averaged 31 a game in last year's NBA playoff series, 2023. All right, so I expect him to keep that up. I expect him to average anywhere from 28 to 35 a game. They don't really have a good person to guard Anthony Edwards. Usually have Aaron Gordon or KCP guarding him. In a regular season, KCP has a 119 defensive rating when guarding Anthony Edwards. Aaron Gordon has a 120 defensive rating when guarding Anthony Edwards. So it's clear they don't have a great matchup for Anthony Edwards, man. So I expect him to go absolutely nuts this series, man. But I think the key factors for the Minnesota Timberwolves offensively is Mike Conley, all right? So in the season series, in the regular season, Mike Conley averaged 18 a game versus Denver Nuggets. So it's actually his most points versus any team this season, 18 a game versus Denver Nuggets, all right? So I expect him to do really good. But the main thing with him is he has to be aggressive. All right, when he's aggressive, he's actually really good. He shoots really good from the field. All right, he shoots 44% from three this year. All right, he's really good in the mid-range with floaters. All right, really good at getting to those short shots. Left hand, right hand, really good at that. But he must be aggressive to keep the defense honest, all right? Karl-Anthony Towns, all right, I expect him to be pretty good this series. A lot of times he's going to have a mismatch with whoever's guarding him, even Aaron Gordon. All right, he's big enough to guard him, but he doesn't have the height to guard Cat defensively, man. So I need Cat to stop settling for those threes. All right, attack closeouts, post up. All right, make Denver bring two to the ball, and then you kick out to guys, man. Another thing that I think Minnesota could take advantage of is their two-man game. All right, so I want to see a lot of Ant-Man and Cat two-man game. All right, because Cat could pop, he could go screens. All right, and if Denver wants to double Anthony Edwards, Cat could play in the short role. I'd rather have him in the short role than a Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert's too tall, too clumsy. We don't want him in that position at all, man. We want him in a dunker spot to catch lobs, all right? So we want Karl-Anthony Towns in that short role for him to make plays on a 4-on-3 situations, all right? Those are the biggest key factors for Minnesota. I think defensively they will hold up pretty well, but offensively they need to be able to take advantage of their advantages. Anthony Edwards has to be him. I expect him to fully be that. Mike Conley, though, he has to be aggressive, man, and keep the defense honest. I think they'll be in pretty good shape in this series, man, because I think everyone knows to do their job defensively and chip in on the offensive side as well. And now with Naz Reid being back, he's Sixth Man of the Year. He's a really good scorer as well, all right? So I like the matchup for Minnesota Timberwolves. So on the Nuggets side, man, 2-2 series. As I mentioned earlier, Denver has really struggled with Minnesota just in terms of their size and physicality. They can match up really well with Jokic, Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon. All right, so Minnesota has the perfect personnel to make these guys uncomfortable, man. And it shows in a turnover battle. 14.3 turnovers per game. That's top 5 most turnovers they have versus any team this season on average. All right, so Minnesota does a great job of putting ball pressure on Murray, all right, and having backline help and Rudy Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns. But I think their bench needs to step up, all right? You're asking a lot of Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray and Porter Jr. and all the starters, man, to play 40 minutes every game going against the size and physicality of the Minnesota Timberwolves, man. The thing about Minnesota is their bench is so good. They have bench players that can literally, like, take the place of their starters and do literally the same job. Like, no dip-off in their play, no dip-off in energy, no dip-off in production. Naz Reid can essentially be Karl-Anthony Towns if he has to be. Sixth Man of the Year, he could be a starter for like 25 NBA teams, all right? So he's really good. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, great defender, all right? He could essentially be Jaden McDaniels, just a little shorter, all right? Kyle Anderson's really good, smart player, really good defender as well, man. So the big difference is bench production, man. Can Denver bench give them something, man? Some offensive production, some defensive production, something. They have really good energy. They're young guys, Peyton Watson, Christian Brown, but they have to get some type of production, man. Because if not, they're just going to run Denver out of the woods, man, with their depth and their physicality. Can Denver make Minnesota bring 2 to the ball? All right, Minnesota typically doesn't like to bring 2 to the ball. All right, they have defenders that don't need to. But if Jokic is getting 40, 45 points per game and they're winning games, all right, 40, 45 is a lot, I will admit. But he's capable. He's getting 30, 35 a game, all right, and he's winning games for these guys. They may have no choice. Denver is best when they play a variety of ways, man. When you don't make them play one way, so when you don't make Jokic be a scorer or a passer, he could just do both, they're going to kill you, man, because Jokic is a great passer, man, great passer. He's going to find Aaron Gordon on lobs in the dunker spot. He's going to find Michael Porter Jr. opposite corner. He's going to do a two-man game with Murray, with KCP, and he's big enough to set great screens and get these guys open. So you got to make them do one thing, all right? So if Jokic can make them bring 2 to the ball, that only helps out the Denver Nuggets, all right? Now he could find guy Michael Porter Jr. and get him going from 3. He could get Jamal Murray going on two-man action. He can find Aaron Gordon on lobs, all right? So I think they need to try to do that, Jokic is going to have to be dominant, all right? He's averaging 33 points a game versus the Minnesota Timberwolves in the regular season. Murray's only at 17 points per game, so it's clear Jaden McDaniels and the guards are having a significant effect on Murray and his production. Michael Porter Jr. is averaging 16 points per game, all right? But the thing with Michael Porter Jr. is he's only taking 5 3-pointers a game versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. So what that is telling me there is Minnesota is not bringing twos to the ball by any means necessary. All right, they're staying home on everything, making Jokic get 40 points if he has to. So Michael Porter Jr. is going to be a big key in just attacking closeouts, all right, getting rebounds, getting second possessions. I think Denver has to start doing more of that in order to really take this team out in Minnesota Timberwolves, man, because they're really, really good, man. With the low bench scoring, all right, they don't have the same bench as last year. Bruce Brown was a big key. Jeff Green, Bruce Brown could give them big nights offensively. He also guarded Anthony Edwards in last year's playoff for some of the games, man. So missing him is going to be a significant factor. All right, missing Jeff Green's experience, his athleticism, and he can make corner shots as well. They're going to miss that as well. So that means the starters got to be even better. Jokic has to be even more dominant. Michael Porter Jr. has to be even more dominant. He has to hit even more shots. Murray has to do his thing, but I don't really think it's on Murray because I think it's going to be hard for him to get off versus these good defenders, man. So I'm going to go with Minnesota in 7. All right, and I think it's kind of meant to be, man. Anthony Edwards has been going crazy. Everyone's calling him Jordan's son. I see it. He plays like him. He looks like him, has the aura like him, charismatic, authentic, all of that, man. Anthony Edwards is him, literally. And 2024 has been a crazy year. As you can see, if you guys been keeping up with hip-hop, Drake and Kendrick Lamar has got their beef going on. And Kendrick is winning. Hard for me to say because I'm a Drake fan, but Kendrick is winning. So stranger things is happening in this year, right? So I do think Minnesota will take this series in 7, but I think it will be a long series. But I think Minnesota will pull it out in the end. Once again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We got videos coming to you in waves. All right, we're covering the whole entire playoffs. Follow your boy at the Trifecta Podcast. Got more content coming soon.